Xin Chao. Hello YouTube, hello everyone. I figured we would take a little walk and we'll talk about a few topics today that are pretty important and are on a lot of people's minds, especially people that want to travel to Vietnam and are curious about new visa laws and stuff like that. We're also going to talk a little bit about the subway. That's the subway we're looking at now. We're going to walk towards it. That's landmark 81. That would be Vinhomes Central across. And this would be Vinhomes Golden River we're at. So yeah, let's get into it. Oh, and then that's Sun Hoa Pearl. That's like a competition to Vinhome. I have not looked inside of a Sun Hoa yet. I'm kind of curious to see what they're like on the inside. So, let's see. What's the first thing we should talk about? Alright, let's talk about the visa. Because it's a very hot, debated thing. People thought there would be all these new laws and you could only get a 30-day visa, and etc., etc. So, instead of looking at my ugly mug and my fat body, I figured we'll take a look at the river as we walk into the park, and I'll just do dialogue as we walk there. So, let me flip back. I'll walk slow so there's not much camera shake. But yeah, so the visas, nothing's changed. The thing that has changed is the stamp. So like, say you're an American and you got a 1-year visa. Before, you had to get your stamp renewed every 90 days. So now what they've changed is, say you get that 1-year visa, which you can still get, no travel visa, you have to get your stamp redone every 30 days, no matter where you're at in Vietnam. Now, it's not difficult. You don't have to do a visa run. You don't have to leave the country. Whatever your city you're in or whatever area, they have a visa department there, and you go to the visa department, and for $10 you get the stamp redone. A bit of a pain in the butt, but I think they just want to track where everybody's at, so they want to know where you're going and what you're doing, which is reasonable. And the reason why I think that they bought this new way of doing the stamp is, I think some criminals were coming in from other countries, not even America. I think the way I was reading it is the Philippines and the Chinese were coming in and doing some petty crimes or major crimes, and they couldn't have a good tracking system on them because the stamp went so long. It went, 90 days, so you could traverse a lot of land and be in a lot of different areas in 90 days. So I think it's just more of, they want to know where you're at and what you're doing, essentially, which is fine. You're in another country. It's not the same rules as America. So that's really what's changed. You can still get all the different kinds of visas that there were before. It's just that the stamp, you have to redo the stamp every 30 days. And it's $10, and you have to go to a visa department in whatever area you're in Vietnam. So let's talk travel. I know a lot of people are like, a lot of people have been watching my videos and they're like, oh man, I want to move there. I want to come there and visit. I can't wait to come. So the way right now they're doing it is, they're probably not going to open up international incoming travel. China's going to be the first. They're already saying that. And they think they're going to do China next month. And it's not going to be tourists. It's only going to be people that are skilled workers for a job here, someone in the medical field, or diplomatic. So any of those three. There's nothing I can see on the board for tourism for any country on incoming travel here for the next foreseeable future, at least this year for sure. I find that to be a good idea, and reason is, we've got coronavirus under control here. It's really under control. So they don't want to undo all the hard work that they did and waste a bunch of money and having a potential second wave here. And if they're smart about it, then they'll keep doing what they're doing. They'll keep it locked down until everywhere else kind of has it under control, and then they know exactly what we're dealing with. So we're gonna stay fixated on the subway here. So their plan is to start travel with China, and then after that, in October, with Japan. It might even be sooner with Japan, but it's gonna be the same thing. No tourists. It's only gonna be a flight once a week or once every 2 weeks, with 100 people, I think was the number that they're saying, incoming, and they have to be a skilled labor worker, something to do with, something of importance. No tourism. I didn't see anything about tourism for any of the countries that they're going to potentially let in. Their idea, though, is once they do start to open up for tourists, that Southeast Asia is going to be their focus, like China, Korea, Philippines. I didn't see Philippines on the list, but I'm going to imagine that they're going to add them to the list eventually. But China, Korea, and Japan are going to be the first, I think, tourist possibilities for incoming flights. Now, as far as outgoing flights, if you're in Vietnam and you want to leave, you can fly to Jakarta, and I think that flight goes like every 2 weeks, and then you can go from Jakarta to, you know, back to America. I have a friend, Frank, that actually has that flight booked for the end of the month on the 26th. So after he gets home safely from here back to Texas, I can confirm that, but they don't seem to be canceling those flights. They seem to be happening. So it seems like you can get out of Vietnam still. But coming in, let me be brutally honest with you about coming in for travel. In my opinion, it's going to be summer of 2021. Now, I have no information to base this on other than what I can read and what they're saying, and their whole thing is they don't even want to open up any kind of incoming traffic to anyone that hasn't even contained the virus. So, I mean, we know America's nowhere close to containing the virus. In fact, it's getting worse by the week. The protests really amped up the spread of the virus quickly. Cities are relocking down again. I wouldn't be surprised if New York's locked down by the time this video is posted. And it seems they did a little bit too fast on the economy opening, but it was a double-edged sword. You had to do something. No, we're not gonna go over there with all that noise. So we'll focus on the subway and come back this way. Maybe I'll sit on this bench. So yeah, it was a double-edged sword. I mean, it was to the point where people needed to get food on the table. They needed to pay their bills. They didn't get behind on their mortgage, on their rent. Not all landlords were nice and reduced rent or were cool about you not having money, especially in America, which is really sad. So their plan is, I think, for travel, they're gonna open up to like Korea probably and Japan first, and I think maybe Hong Kong, even though they're kind of in a second wave, and then Taiwan, because we're like the major countries that have it pretty locked down. I didn't see anything about Thailand. Hold on, let me walk away from the banging. Maybe he'll stop. I didn't see anything about, what country was I just saying? I didn't see anything about the Philippines. It really seems like they're gonna focus on Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. I think will be the first tourists allowed in, and I'm gonna guess somewhere after the first of the year, after they proved that they have the virus contained. And life is completely back to normal here. Things are as if it never happened. Most people don't wear their face mask in the elevator here anymore, especially if they're American or from like Korea. I don't see any of the Koreans wearing the mask anymore. Almost all the Vietnamese do. I still wear it because they're asking to wear the mask, so I just kind of, you know, follow what they want me to do. It's not that hard to wear a mask, so I don't have a problem wearing the mask. But all the bars are open, all the clubs are open, everything's open. Businesses that really got hurt, as we saw in the tourist impact video, are just touristy areas where, you know, the foreigners would come and visit. All those businesses have been impacted deeply, and they won't get back to normal till travel is fully back tilt with the whole world, which I'm gonna go summer 2021 is probably the earliest for that to happen. So if you're planning a trip, I would get trip insurance on the flight, on everything, on the hotel, all that, cancellation, all that stuff, and plan at the earliest 2021. Summer of 2021, like I'm talking July, like pretty much a year from now is my real guess. Like I said, I don't have any factual information because there really isn't any factual information. I'm just basing this off of what I'm reading. So don't plan on what I'm telling you, and don't take it as hand to mouth as the word of God, essentially. I'm just giving you an educated guess from what I've seen. I was pretty accurate on the coronavirus stuff if you go back and watch my first few coronavirus videos, so I'm pretty good at reading between the lines and seeing what they're going to want to do and not do. So yeah, I would say plan for summer 2021, the earliest, to come travel here. I know that sucks. I know it's a long time. I know it's pretty much a year away. But it's because of this coronavirus. It's just gotten out of hand everywhere else again. I mean, there's few other countries opening up. You can get to Japan, but a guy in my stream told me, a guy that's living in Japan, that you have to have a Japanese passport in order to get to Japan from America. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true, because one of my friends that live stream on Twitch here said he's friends with a live streamer that came from America to Japan just recently. He's in a 14-day quarantine, but he looks Japanese to me, so I'd have to confirm with him if he holds a Japanese passport, and then that would make a lot of sense to me. I had a little bit of a chest infection. I'm just getting over it. I'm on my last day of amoxicillin. So let's talk about the subway. So this is a new thing that's happened in the past week. They are ramping up production, thousands of percentages on this subway. The PM or whoever runs the city, I think the PM even, wants this thing up and running by next year, by like early next year. So their target goal to get this thing, this first line running with how many trains was it? 17 trains, I want to say. 17 trains up and running by early next year, the first line. And the first line goes far. It goes from here all the way to district, what was that district I was in? District 9, I want to say. That one way out there where they're building the other Vin homes, the big Vin home park that we looked at on my streets of Saigon the other day. But it goes all the way down there pretty much. So I would be a heavy early adopter of the subway once it launches. I would ride that thing everywhere because it goes right down the middle. It takes you, it's really cool the way it goes. It goes down here. So it comes down here and it comes over here and then it goes over the river. Maybe if they're not banging, I can go show you. But I'm really excited that they're really focusing 100% to get this first line done. It's the same in Hanoi. Hanoi's first line is supposed to be done at the end of the year at the latest. Like, they really want to get the Hanoi line done by this year and up and running. So they're trying to train the people how to drive the trains here now, but this is a co-built line with Japan. So it's mainly Japan's technology, it's Japan's cars. So it should be as good when this thing's all done by like 2025. I think 2030 for all the lines is when it's going to be finished. But when like a lot of the main lines are up by 2025, it should run as good as Tokyo subway, which we all know how awesome that is. Well, maybe not all of us, but it's one of the best subway systems in the world. So 90% of the subway system runs above ground, with only 10% running below ground, and there's only 2 underground stop stations, and the rest of the stations are all above ground, which I found to be pretty fascinating. So it's kind of a bit like Seoul's, except for I think Seoul's goes a bit more underground, but it gives you that feel kind of the Seoul subway, and a little bit of the Hong Kong subway when you're like coming out of the airport, where it's all pretty much above ground. Very good, cool looking system. I'm super glad they made it with the Japanese. So yeah, the problem now is they're trying to get in Japanese to that's why I think they're going to try to open up, you know, travel with Japan soon. They're trying to get in all these engineers to come train the Vietnamese how to drive the subway. Only one woman applied for the job and she got it, so she's like one woman out of 550 people that's going to be driving a subway train here, which I also thought was very cool. Hopefully, I just hope that they really get it open soon, because it's a game changer once it does. Any subway system, when it comes to a major city, even the first few lines, it starts to bring money in, it starts to clean up the city, it revolutionizes the city in a matter of overnight once it opens up. So it'll be a gigantic game changer here. I think there's going to be a stop here at Vin Homes. I don't know if Vin, the guy that owns Vin Home, made that smart deal, but from what it's looking to me like, it might have a stop here. I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't a stop over here for it. They seem to be building a skiff pad off over here for it. Not here, a bit further down. Let's see if I can show you a little bit of it. So yeah, in review, the visas haven't changed. You can still get the same visa up to a year travel. And then after the year visa, you can extend 90 days every time. And at a cost of around $400 to redo for 90 days at a time. But if you're gonna stay here permanently, you would probably, you know, wanna get a work permit or an investor visa. You'd want to figure out other ways to stay long term, so you don't have to be redoing the 90 days every time. And if you're going to contemplate doing business, if you think you're going to maybe start a business here or do something business, I would say get the business visa, because you don't need a letter of an intent or anything like that when you do the business visa. You don't have to have a company that's already sponsoring you with a letter. They will just give you a 1-year business visa on just trying to find business essentially here. Like maybe you're thinking about starting business and you want to check it out and see if the logistics match up for your potential company that you would like to start here, or a bar or a restaurant or anything like that. So this is a golf where you hit the balls, a driving range, golf driving range. Somebody asked me before what these big green nets are, so the golf balls don't go up. So we covered the visa thing. The travel thing, I'd say the soonest you're going to be able to plan a trip here is going to be 2021, and I'm going to say summer of 2021. Because the Prime Minister has made it pretty clear that they're not going to do any incoming traffic with a country that does not have the coronavirus contained. So I mean, that's pretty much putting right there, the proof's in the pudding on that one. I don't quite know what they're building here. I don't know. This is for the ship, the Saigon, the Vinhome. There's a Vinhome ship. Sorry about the noise, but I just want to show you guys how massive this subway project is. So that's the subway line coming down here. Then here, here. I have some possible drone footage we can look at of the subway. I get sketchy driving the drone here because it drops out a signal for some reason, and I don't want to lose Frank's drone. No smoking, yeah, right. Good luck on that, it's Vietnam. So that's the other part of the subway line that goes across the river, and they built that fast. When I moved here, just the pylon, the big middle pylon was on, and none of the concrete. So they built all that concrete in like 6 months, 7 months. So yeah, it'll swing across here, and then it'll come across and then connect here and then go all the way down. So it connects everything. I mean, it's one pretty badass first line. So I think we covered 3 really important topics that people have really been asking me about. I'm doing my best to get you that information. I literally read the news for an hour to an hour and a half each morning. I have an extremely busy schedule every single day now. I go to the gym, I swim, I run, I read the news, I edit a YouTube video, and then it's time to go stream, because I stream 6 to 8 hours on Twitch, twitch.tv/FatandBrokeOfficial. So I mean, I've been working 12 to 14 hours a day for about 30 days in a row now. I take my work very serious. I look at YouTube and Twitch as my full-time job. It will continue to be. It's where all my focus goes. I appreciate all you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys who hit the like button. I really appreciate you all that, you know, subscribe, hit the bell. I especially thank you guys for the donations lately. It's helped out immensely with us. You know, it pays for going out on Twitch at night, because we don't really have money to waste on that. I appreciate the Patreon family. I've been making a lot of Patreon only content for the Patreon people. So if you want to see exclusive Patreon content, I put out a video or 2 a week. They're highly edited. They're much different than my YouTube channel. They often have music behind it because they don't need monetization. I'm possibly going to go to Vung Tau tomorrow for 2 days with Frank, because I kind of want to see Vung Tau during the week. Quite a few expats living there email me, so I'd like to meet up with them and have them show me spots that I would be happy with the food. I want to have a different perspective than I did on Vung Tau when we went there. I want to give it a re-go. I want to take the drone and I want to go up to the big Jesus thing, and I want to drone coverage that. I want to get a bunch of drone footage there too. So I'll try to cut in a little bit of the subway footage at the end here on the drone. So look for the possible subway footage of the drone at the end of the video. It was really sketchy. Usually it's so windy here that, like I said, the drone drops signal, and as you can see, it's water. So if that drone drops, that's $400 I owe Frank, and that is not a position I want to be in. I don't have $400 to waste on a drone. So once he goes back to the States, I'll buy a drone. I'm probably gonna buy a bigger one, because I've never really heard of too many people getting hassled about the weight of their drone on the plane. So we'll see. Maybe I'll buy a mini like he has. I kind of want the bigger one, the Air, because it's more stable. It can go higher, and you don't get those crazy wind. Man, that thing, when the wind warning comes on, you just get panicked. You're like, oh, let me get it down, let me bring it down. Well, more so for me because it's not my drone. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you got a lot of good information out of this video. I hope you watched it all the way through. Like I said, the watch time is the most important thing for YouTube to recommend you, suggest your content, because they're looking to put as many ads in a video as possible. I've redone the way I do ads. I do an ad at the beginning, at the end, and if it's a long video, 2 in the middle. No more like 15 ads in the middle. I was just letting it do auto ad breaks, and that was a bad idea. So, hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. I hope this helped you with your travel plans. I hope this helped you with your visa thoughts. And I hope I gave you good information about the subway. Drop a comment if I did. And of course, negative comments are welcome too. Haters gotta hate, right? All right, guys. Tom Viet. See you on the next one. Peace out.